Good morning, folks. Today's message from Mull comes from indoors. If any of you have put your head out through the door this morning, you'll probably realise that the weather conditions here are quite atrocious, and as far as filming goes, a bit of a non-starter outside. So I have been out on the bicycle, but I thought I would do your message from indoors. Now today's message is around SMART goals and pacing. So during this period, it might be a good idea to set yourself a little goal, something that you would like to achieve. When you come to Healthy Options, the initial program lasts for 3 months, and there's a reason for that. It tends to take around 3 months to form a new habit. And it just so happens that we're likely to be in this situation for about another 3 months. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to try and form a new, positive, beneficial, healthy habit. Now, I mentioned SMART goals there before. Some of you may have heard of that term before. And this stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And I'm just going to talk through each of those in turn. So when you set yourself a goal, instead of just picking something out of the air, fast thinking, we've spoken about that before, why not slow down your thinking process, consider it a little bit more, and think about not just the goal, but how you're actually going to get there. What's the journey going to look like, and is it actually achievable? So, specific, number one. It needs to be something that's important to you, not anyone else. Your goal needs to be something that is important to you and something that will give you a feeling of achievement at the end. So have a little think about what would actually make a difference to your life. It should be measurable. Now that may be, for example, we're asking you to be as active as you can during this process, so that might be how often and for how long. It might be the variety of different activities that you try to employ, but try to make sure it's something that you can measure. It needs to be attainable. So no point saying this year I'm going to run a marathon if at the minute you can only walk unaided for about 10 minutes. So it's about making sure it's something that is possible and is attainable. We want it to be challenging, but realistic at the same time. It needs to be relevant, and what I mean is it needs to be worthwhile to you. And it might be an idea to think of a goal perhaps that is short term, then something maybe medium term, which might be the end of the 3 months. So short term, it might be to actually make a start. Medium term might be to achieve something in 3 months' time, when hopefully we're out of this isolation and starting to think about getting back to something remotely close to normal life. And then perhaps a long-term goal as well, which might be much further ahead in the future. And those goals can always be adjusted, they can be flexible. So if you achieve your goals quicker than you thought, then you can reset. And it should be time bound as well. So make sure there is a time frame attached to this. It's sometimes good to have some level of a sense of urgency to actually make things happen and kickstart this process. And it's probably a good idea to write these things down, because when we write things down, it's like we're making a little contract with ourselves that we are going to do this, or tell others as well. I did Dry January this year, and the first thing I did was tell the world, because I knew that once I'd done that, I was going to have to do it, and I knew there'd be hard times when I might break, but I told the world, so I had to do it, and I did do it. Now then, also a good idea would be to think about things that might get in the way. So plan for lapses, things that may happen. We're obviously in quite a strange situation at the minute in terms of being socially isolated and having to spend a lot of time indoors and around our house. So think about things that might trip you up on the way, plan for them, and then when they do happen, you've almost expected them, and you can circumnavigate those issues and get back on track again. And the other thing is, the last few days we've talked about escaping pain and trying to stay mobile regardless of pain. We talked about stretching, and I also want to just make a little note on pacing yourself. So some of us have conditions where we do have good days, we have bad days, and it's important on the good days that we don't push ourselves too hard. So some of us can suffer from a bit of a boom and bust experience where on the good days we really go for it, and then we really suffer for it in the days after, and we lose all function completely. So what I'd like you to do is, on the good days, don't push too hard. Challenge yourself, but don't push too hard. Listen to your body. And on the bad days, instead of giving up, then maybe try to elevate your level just a little bit. What we're looking for is more of a sort of happy medium. So instead of having real highs and lows, that we're moving along progressively and steadily, instead of having boom and bust scenarios. And hopefully that will prevent you having lots of muscle pain or joint pain in the day after perhaps a boom day where you think, fantastic, I'm marvelous, I'm going to really nail this. Just rein it back a little bit, and then hopefully the following days you can still employ some active rest by being active around the house, by doing some hobbies or DIY tasks like that. You still actually keep it going without having to stop in between your exercise days, because you won't have worked too hard. That's 6 minutes 40. That's a long one. So I'll finish there, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. Please keep sending in the information on WhatsApp. You're inspiring all of us. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.